So I think what separates Bristol Bay from other fisheries is the sheer intensity of it. There's just nothing like it. The sheer volume of the fish involved.
I think most people know that Bristol Bay has been over time probably the most robust sockeye salmon resource in North America, if not the world.
Sockeyes are pretty habitat sensitive, and there's nothing like the ground around here, that the water and the lakes and all the watersheds produce a volume of sockeye that's unprecedented anywhere else in the world.
In a very short time, maybe 6 weeks, 30 million or more sockeye salmon returned to the Bristol Bay area. So it's a very intense fishery, very competitive.
The salmon industry provides tens of thousands of jobs, thousands and thousands of cannery workers, the barge companies, the mechanics, the airlines.
This fishery could go on for many more generations, and if you do the math over time, it's worth a lot to a lot of people.
The fishing industry is working on a renewable resource that we've been harvesting for generations and generations of people and many more generations of salmon. We're in about 130 years of history here. So it boils down to a renewable resource versus a non-renewable resource.
This will last for generations, 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 generations. We just have to take care of the nursery. But if you don't have the nursery anymore, it doesn't matter what you do about all the rest. The whole thing will collapse and all these jobs will be gone.
I would like to see this fishery continue for many generations to come. Already 5 generations of my family have participated in this fishery since it was established commercially.
This product isn't just a regional, local product. This is a high protein, clean, natural product that is all over the world. And there is no open mine of that size and scale of any kind that is not impacted to where it is. And this will cause the market to drop. The value of all these industries that are already here that are clean and renewable to plummet down to almost unworkable standards. And it'll basically just collapse within itself.
Mining needs to be confined to very specific locations where its impact is minimal, right? So like in the center of Australia or in outer Mongolia, where they're doing a lot of exploitation, those aren't ridiculously pristine natural watersheds that already support a whole bunch of jobs that are renewable.
Hey, and let's face it, we all use metal. Look, most of these boats are made of metal. They're made of aluminum, you know. I got copper in my alloys in the boat. But when you extract a mineral resource, you extract it once and you're done. This resource comes back every year, and it has for many thousands of years.
These boats all represent a pretty substantial investment for all of us, for our businesses. So it's a big deal. I mean, if this fishery got impacted to the point that it wasn't really economically viable for us to come anymore, these boats are pretty specialized for this fishery. We'd lose our businesses, really. The value of our businesses could go down to something that, not worth having anymore.
The economic impacts could be terrible for Alaska. The seafood industry is the #1 private employer in the state of Alaska, and Bristol Bay is a significant part of that. So we're talking about, over 14,000 jobs on the line in this fishery alone, and that would be significant, not just for communities in Bristol Bay who wouldn't benefit from fish taxes and other revenues, but really in the seafood industry throughout the state and on down to Washington and Seattle and beyond.
It's funny, it's a trade-off, and it's not a worthwhile trade-off. They did this on the Columbia River, and it was very similar to this. When they put the dams in the Columbia, all the biologists said, you're going to wipe out the fish, but it was all the same arguments, jobs, it'll bring jobs, but cheap power and all of that, but everybody wanted to believe that like fish ladders and all this would save that. Well, the Columbia River is a disaster now, and so we just traded. We made a choice to trade salmon for cheap power, and now they're spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars trying to bring those fish back, and they're never going to come back. And so, I mean, once they're gone, you've given up, you've lost it forever.
When I think of the mine and being in Bristol Bay. I can't believe, sometimes I think I'm dreaming. I can't believe it's actually even being talked about. How could it even be true that the last wild salmon run of this size was being threatened in just with one mine at one time? I couldn't believe it.